Merhabalar Webrazzi izleyicileri. Paris'te BlaBlaCar'ın ofisindeyiz. BlaBlaCar paylaşım ekonomisi alanında Avrupa'nın yükselen yıldızlarından. Paris'teki ofislerinde, karargahlarında nasıl çalışıyorlar birlikte görelim. Beni izleyin. Hello, Nicola.
Good to meet you.
You too. How are you?
Good, good.
Thank you very much for accepting our call for visit to BlaBlaCar offices. Can you tell us a little about BlaBlaCar?
Yeah, so let me tell you about very quickly the history of the company and what we do. The company was actually formed in 2006 initially, but we really had the first employee and really the start of the growth of the company in 2009 and 2010. What the company does, very basically, we connect drivers with people looking for a ride. So at a very simple level, as a driver, you go on the website or the mobile app, and if you're driving, let's say in Germany, from Berlin to Hamburg, you would go to the website and you would say, I have 3 empty seats in my car driving from Berlin to Hamburg. And you offer those empty seats to passengers going the same way. And as a passenger, you just go on the website or go to the mobile app and you book those seats and travel together. So again, we started that back in 2006. Really, we've seen some growth initially in France in 2009, 2010. And then we realized that pretty much no one was doing that in any other country in Europe. And we started to expand in 2011, 2012. All over Europe, and more recently in 2014 into Russia. What's amazing is we still see actually lots of growth in France, so we're not even seeing any ceiling in terms of usage in the core market. It's still more than doubling every year, and other markets are just exploding all over Europe.
Yeah, and the magic happens here in this office. Can you give us a tour?
So we're going to go for a tour. Actually, it happens here, but it happens also everywhere actually in Europe. So what we decided to do is for each country, each major country we launch, we tend to have a local team and a local office. So today it's kind of surprising for a startup company because we have 7 offices in 7 different countries. So we have Italy, we have Spain, UK, Germany, Russia, Poland.
And you're the co-founder and the chief operating officer of the company, and you are in charge of this expansion, right?
So that's right. So we have 3 co-founders, and I run mostly international marketing and finance. So this area is data. So what we do is we centralize a few functions. So we centralize, for example, all the finance functions. We centralize some of the marketing functions. But we don't centralize marketing. We don't centralize communication. We don't centralize all the community management that we tend to do very locally to make sure we stay very close to our members and we understand that a Spanish member or an Italian member or a German member is going to have different needs, different worries, different concerns, different usage pattern, and we always want to have like a local team on the ground to manage that. In each country we have the communication team, we have a marketing team, we have a country manager, we do business development, so we tend to actually give lots of autonomy to our local teams, and it's almost like running a startup within a startup. So essentially, like BlaBlaCar Germany is very independent from BlaBlaCar Spain, from BlaBlaCar Italy. But what we do is we keep the brand, the culture, and also like all the data we gather, we keep that centrally, right? So it's like one brand, one service, one set of values. But then we operate very, very locally to understand the customer's need locally. And as you know, we just raised, I mean, it's been announced just a few weeks or a month ago, we raised $100 million. And the goal of that fundraising is obviously to, I mean, first, what's behind this fundraising was to realize, a bit like what we did actually 2 years or 3 years ago, was to realize that no one is really doing that on a global scale. So today, no one is doing that in Turkey, no one is really doing that in Latin America, no one is really doing that in Asia. Now, we're doing it in Europe, but it looks like the world is still an open field. So what's behind this fundraising is to expand the service on a global scale. So we moved to the office actually less than a year ago. So we moved in January, and the idea was to do this painting on this wall, which is a bit of the story of BlaBlaCar actually in the last few years. So you see a mix of like international, so you can see like different cities from cities we've launched. Like you can recognize probably Milan, you can recognize London, Paris, and then a set of values like sharing, like trust, which is really core to the service, right? So it was to encapsulate sort of the past history and the future of BlaBlaCar in like one big wall. And I'm sure it's going to evolve, right? I'm sure this wall is, and you can see the future with countries and cities we have not gone to yet. that's kind of the core of the engine over here, which is like the old product and tech team. So that's where we designed the
This is the green blah. This is the red blah.
That's the red blah, exactly. So here, essentially, that's where all the product and all the technology is being designed. And today, I mean, it's all the things we don't see about BlaBlaCar. It's about how do you make the user experience good? How do you make sure the technology works? And today, it's becoming an increasing challenge for a service like BlaBlaCar, because we don't just operate in one country. We operate in several countries, and we get into a volume where we have, I mean, today we're talking about like over 9 million members. It's interesting because, I mean, today you have this concept of sharing economy, which if you think of like when we started back in, even like when we started to scale back in 2009, 2010, no one was really talking about sharing economy or all these things. It's a very new, maybe 2-year-old concept. And today it has really helped us because suddenly people put BlaBlaCar into this much bigger theme, which is the sharing economy. Then the issue we had when we started 2, 3, I mean actually even more like 5 years ago, but even when we started to scale internationally 2 years ago, was trust, right? So it's like, how do you create trust within that community? And in many ways we've been helped by the definition of the sharing economy, by services like Airbnb, by services like Facebook. I mean, today it's very natural to sign on Facebook, to use the Facebook Connect. People are a lot more comfortable to actually give information, do some checks online. I mean, it's never been the core focus was never like to monetize early. It was first to create value.
Exactly.
So essentially, it's about making sure we have the usage in the countries we launch, and making sure people actually do transact and do use the service. And after that, you can always find a way to, as we said, to monetize and to either take a cut on the transaction or do something else. Can you monetize, not monetize? It's can you even create the market, right? Once you created the market, to me, like monetization is just like the natural next step in the future.
These are your members, ambassadors. Blah, blah,
so those are all
yes.
employees of BlaBlaCar that have reached like the highest grade you can reach on BlaBlaCar, which is the ambassador status. So essentially, to be an ambassador, you need to use the service for over a year. You need to collect lots of ratings. You need to collect, of course, positive ratings. But what it says essentially, so you see lots of people from like managers, early employees, people that just joined. Actually, we have lots of people actually who join the company because they know the service, right? So they contact us because they just love the service and they want to work for us. So yeah, and as you can see, it's almost empty. So people work pretty hard. They don't relax. But no, that's the break area. So that's where we have coffee, and that's not really where we have lunch. Actually, there is an area downstairs where people have lunch.
Okay, speaking of the employees, how many are you here working?
So it's interesting because I think the first time we met 2.5 years ago, it was probably like 15 or 20 employees, pretty much all in Paris. So today it's over like 150 employees. We have roughly about 100 employees here in Paris. And we have like even a faster growing part of the company outside of Paris. So in terms of usage, it's been exploding, right? So I don't even,
I can see that,
like 2.5 years ago, it was probably like the beginning of BlaBlaCar. It was already pretty established. It was getting pretty established in France, but it was pretty much unknown anywhere else. Today we have over 9 million members on the platform, and we're growing at like a very fast pace in every country, even in France, where we can see the ceiling. And to give you a sense of the service and the values of the service, I mean, today we carry over 1 million people every month, right? So it means over 1 million people travel cities to cities with BlaBlaCar today, right? So that's more than the Eurostar, that's more than lots of train companies in Europe, that's more than most bus companies actually in single countries in Europe.
Thank you very much actually for this wonderful tour in this wonderful offices, and I hope to see you soon, very soon.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.